Activity in Module 3, we are going to be looking at the 1920s as a whole. To access this activity, you want to make sure you are on the correct module page. So you are looking at Module 3, the 1920s. We have our module objective here as well as a synopsis of what the module is like. Okay. You should have already, prior to watching this video, should have watched the Edpuzzle and engaged with the content there. And then we are going to move on to the activity in order to start this section. Okay, so after watching these lecture videos, you will explore the virtual museum exhibits and the different artifacts. When analyzing these artifacts, you do want to reflect on the following questions. What is the message of the 1920s? And what was the intent behind the music, images, and ads that are featured in this museum here? Okay. How might these items have influenced the culture in the 1920s in the United States? How does this reflect economic and social priorities during this era, and why was there a desire for change in the 1920s? The way that you will be able to access these questions and respond to them, you will click on this Google Doc template right here, and it will say, okay, would you like to make a copy? We'll hit make a copy. And this is your own personal copy, okay? When you are responding to these questions, I want you to think critically about each one and about the different artifacts you will experience when looking at this virtual museum. You want to write at least 3 sentences for each one of these questions. In order to be able to, again, understand these questions and answer them, you will need to visit the virtual museum. So how you will do this is that you will click on this image right here, and it will take you to this Canva with the virtual museum. This virtual museum has things from the Great Migration, which is this artwork by Jacob Lawrence, which is a part of the Migration series. It talks about the planes, and it also has like this is a collage of images from various newspapers in chronicling Americas. So big wins in the 1920s is that women are able to vote, okay, for the first time ever in the United States. Jazz is also popping off. We've got Amelia Earhart. Again, very big changes are happening. This is also in reference to the Harlem Renaissance with Harlem by Langston Hughes, Louis Armstrong, Cakewalking Babies, and Duke Ellington with Toodaloo. There is more than one page, so you want to make sure you've accessed both museums, or sorry, both exhibits in this museum. This museum exhibit features more of the ads, so that's kind of in connection to the Edpuzzle that we looked at in the lecture there. But there's also talks about transportation in the flapper style. Again, flapper style with women is a very big thing. We also got Clara Bow, which Clara Bow is kind of known as one of the most prominent figures of the 1920s. The way you're going to be able to do this is you're going to be able to click on the different links. So like for this poem, for example, you would click there and it would take you to this link so that you could read the full poem. So this is full poems by Langston Hughes, and you would reflect on that, read it, and reflect when answering your question. See this one with Louis Armstrong, you would click the link, and then it'll take you to this YouTube video, which is a song of his. So I've only played a short snippet. You will listen to the full thing and reflect. You will do this with each one of these items, okay? So not just with those two, you will visit all three. Now, those two were pretty short. This one takes you again to a closer look, and it talks about the fads and crazes of the 1920s. It's important again you reflect on this as it will go more into depth with things than my lectures will provide, such as it talks about prohibition taking effect on January 17th, 1920, and how alcohol was illegal in the 1920s. But that doesn't stop Americans from drinking, as speakeasies and bootleg alcohol will become a thing. Okay. So after you have finished reflecting on every one of these, visiting each different link, You want to make sure you've answered all the questions. And then once you are done, you will make sure you're sharing. So make sure it says anyone with this link. You would copy the link and then you will go back to the website and you will go to the class Padlet. Okay. With the class Padlet, and you will look at the module 3 with the 1920s. And I have already here submitted where you'll post your reflection. So you can add a comment to mine. You could say your name. So I'm just going to put mine, for example, and put Sanchez Lizette, module 3. And there we go. I'd have my submission there. Okay. So you would do the same, or again, you can just make like a post with your reflection, but it's easier to just do this with the one I've already made. So you could post your submission. And then that is what you will do for this activity in module 3. So once you have finished this, you will be ready to move on to your assessment.